Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Bourbon Hang, where the bourbon's good, but it's more about hanging out with you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We have a really fun stream, at least for me. I hope it is for you guys. We're tasting Old Fitz 10, 17, and 19. Going to give you guys some notes. I know these are super hard to find, but my goal with tonight is not to flex on you guys. It's just really to taste through these. In case you see these in a bar and you want to have a pour, maybe you'll know which profile to go for. Maybe you'll know if this latest release, the 10-year, is something you should hunt for, if you should pay secondary prices for it, that kind of thing. So I'm excited to taste through those tonight. If you're hanging out with us, say hey. We'll shout you guys out in the chat. We have lots of Whiskey Mash news. Whiskey Mash is the whiskey festival that A1 Liquors in Effingham, Illinois, and myself put on every year. I mean, I'm just kind of a sponsor for it, but it's more A1. So all the credit goes to Narav, his staff, everything there. They are phenomenal. And if you guys have not been to a whiskey festival, I'm telling you guys, this is the one to go to because it's not overcrowded and you can get tons of pours of stuff you can't taste, you can't find. Last year I had, I think, 4 pours of Michter's 20, 4 pours of Heaven Hill 17, and then everything in between. I mean, it was all incredible. This year's pours are fantastic. I'm going to go over those first tonight. So let's see who's hanging out in the chat. Tater Dom's in the house. What's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Brian is in the house. Brian's going to join us for our Patreon dinner Friday before Whiskey Mash on Saturday. So that'll be a lot of fun. Jason's in the house. What's up, dude? Yeah, next weekend is going to be awesome. I can't wait. Daniel's also in the house. What's up, dude? Hope everything's good with you, man. Can't wait to see you and hang out next week. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to live stream. I've got 4 Patreon members coming in Thursday night. So we're gonna get the party started Thursday night here at my house. Let them, knock out some bottles on the back bar. Maybe get a taste of this guy. So we're gonna taste through that tonight. Super excited about it. Let's see. All right. First bit of Whiskey Mash news. A lot of people have asked. I posted a link. If you guys don't have tickets, want tickets, you can click that link in the chat. But a lot of people have asked if there is a shuttle service this year, and there is. We did get a shuttle service, so there'll be shuttles taking you from A1 to the hotels, which is great. Let me find this email. I should have had this pulled up from Narav that's got all of the pours because there's some new bottles that were added. All right, here we go. I know this is what everybody's wanting to know. All right, from Brown Foreman, and there's a lot of other stuff on here that that I'm not saying, but these are the bottles people want to know if it's there or not. From Brown Foreman, we've got Woodford Batch Proof, Birthday Bourbon, Old Forester 1910, 1920, Single Barrel Rye Barrel Proof, Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye, Jack Daniel's Coy Hill, Jack Daniel's 12. That's one I have not been able to taste yet, so I'm super pumped to try Jack Daniel's 12. Jack Daniel's Coy Hill was one of my favorite pours from last year, so that's going to be there. Jack Daniel's 10 years there. From Sazerac. Okay. All right, taters. Tater Dom, where are you? All the taters. This is what you guys want. From Sazerac, we're going to have Eagle Rare 17, George T. Stagg, Thomas Handy, William LaRue Weller, Pappy 15, 12, and 10, Weller Reserve, Weller Antique, Weller 12, Weller CYPB, Weller Full Proof. I don't know if we're doing if we're having any of the Weller Full Proof store picks we've done, but possibly. Rock Hills Farm, Elmer T. Lee, E.H. Taylor Small Batch, Single Barrel, Barrel Proof, E.H. Taylor Rye, Buffalo Trace, Charter Oaks. Then moving on to Four Roses, we're going to have Four Roses Barrel Strength. Again, I don't know if any of the picks we've done will be there, but possibly. Four Roses Small Batch Limited. Michter's 10-year bourbon, which I'm super excited to try because that bottle has been getting a lot of talk. And obviously that's probably one I'm not going to be able to find. So that's why Whiskey Mash is so perfect. I can try some bottles that I'm probably not going to be able to buy. So Michter's 10-year bourbon. This year, I think it's rumored, or people think it has a lot older stock in it. So, but people are freaking out about that one. Michter's 10-year rye. Baumburgers, Shanks, Hardens Creek Clearmont, Hardens Creek Frankfurt, Baker's 13 single barrel, Knob Creek 18-year, Clearmont single malt, Booker's. I think I saw Ed Sturgar in the house. What's up, Ed? Ed, we're going to have Booker's batch 1 and 2 from 2023. He's probably already had those, though. This is another one I'm really looking forward to trying that I haven't been able to try yet. Heaven Hill 20 is on the list. Heaven Hill 17, one of my favorite pour. That was probably my favorite pour from last year. So, you guys that can't find the Old Fitz Decanter series, the ones we're tasting through tonight, we're going to have Old Fitz 17, Old Fitz 19, and Old Fitz 10 there. So you'll be able to try all those at Whiskey Mash. Larceny Barrel Proof, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, Elijah Toasted French Oak, Jameson 18, Jefferson Ocean Double Rye. Let's see. We got some Red Breast Lestau, IW Harper 15, Orphan Barrel Scarlet Shade. I actually do want to try that one. I have not tried that, but I do want to try that. The one you guys have all been waiting for, we will have Crown Royal 23 Apple. So if you guys have not had that, if you have had it, let me know. What'd you think? But we will have Crown Royal 23 Apple. Peerless Rye Store Pick. That one's really good. There'll be a Nulu Double Oaked, a Nulu Cigar, Nulu Double Toasted, Starlight Honey, Starlight Rum. There's Starlight Cigar Batch, Remus. What else is on here? High West Double Rye, High West Rendezvous. Wild Turkey Voyage is going to be there. Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit, Russell's 13. Russell's 13's there. I do want to try the recent batch of that. Russell's Reserve. Hard Truth is going to be there. I don't know if Brian Smith or Chris from Hard Truth will be there because they've got their event with they're releasing the John Cougar Mellencamp collab bottle, which they sent me, and oh my God, is it good? I can't wait to review that one. It is fantastic. And it's kind of cool. John Cougar Mellencamp does the artwork on those, which is pretty neat. Let's see. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. That is the list so far. Incredibly good bottles on the list. I cannot wait for next weekend. And yeah, Daniel just posted in here. Thanks for that, buddy. A lot of the picks are available for purchase, and I think if you buy 2 picks, it's 20% discount, if I remember correctly, for those of you going to Whiskey Mash. So, Ed Sturgar said, I really want that Baker's 13. Ed, have you had Baker's 13? I had one last year. I was able to find one, and it was damn good, buddy. It was really good. Really, really good. So what are you guys looking for? What are you trying to find the most this year? What's on your radar? For me, I've heard so much about Jack 12 and Michter's 10 that I am really, really looking for those. So, all righty. All right, let's get into this tasting, guys. So, I will say we had our Barrels for Hope board meeting last night, and I cracked this open. And let's see, I've now had the 8-year, the 17, and the 19. And I was expecting this to be kind of close to the 8-year. This blows the 8-year out of the water. It is really fantastic. So we're gonna nose it and give you guys some notes. Oh yeah. Good call out, Ed. Makers cellar aged. So if you guys didn't see, Fred Minnick did a review on that. And he's been, trolling makers forever to come out with a aged makers product in that 10 to 12 year, and they finally did it. And so I don't know how much he could remove his bias, but he did review it and he went nuts over it. Like nearly had an orgasm on camera. But I love it when you get those reactions. But he absolutely loved it. So I talked to Narav today, as a matter of fact. He is working on getting one of those for Whiskey Mash. We just can't confirm it yet. So there may be a maker's cellar aged at Whiskey Mash, which would be really awesome. All right. Let's look at this 10-year. These Old Fitzes are like the best of Heaven Hill. Just that like sweet oak. This 10-year has even some like cherry notes. When I can get some fruity notes on Heaven Hill, absolutely love it. And this has that sweet oak that you love from Heaven Hill. Um, Tastes or smells very balanced. Nothing's really overwhelming you at 100 proof. It's not going to blow you out of the park. But the nose is really, really nice. Sweet oak, caramel, and a little bit of cherries on the nose. And just like a touch of rickhouse dustiness, a little bit of nuttiness, but very, very light. Mostly for me, that sweet oak kind of stands out, which is really nice. Let's see. Brian's looking for the Russell's 13. Yeah, I've heard really good things about the latest batch of that. Peter White said, waiting for Little Book 7 because all the other ones will be hard to get. Yeah, I know, man. Bourbon game sucks. It's hard. It's tough, man. So I'm smelling 17 now. 17 nose is better than 10. Man, it's like 17 just has this confectionery sugar note on top of everything that the 10-year has. It's like vanilla icing. It's like if you added vanilla icing to the 10-year, that's what you get in 17. And trust me, guys, I wish the 10-year was like the best of these, but this 17 is something special. And I've only got very little bit of it left. And my uncle's coming into town tomorrow, so I want him to do an Old Fitz tasting. So we're probably gonna kill that bottle this weekend. Let's see. Oh my gosh, who is that guy? Ben is in the house. What is up? Ben is gonna be. Brian asked if Ben's coming to Whiskey Mash. He is coming to Whiskey Mash. Hopefully this year he's not gonna be such a little bitch and he's gonna drink whiskey instead of sipping on beers. Big Vic's in the house. What's up, dude? Cheers, buddy. Oh, there he goes. He answered. Yeah, exactly. You meant to type, hopefully you're not a little bitch this year. That's what you meant to type, Brian. Ed Sturger says, the Old Fitz's bottle flip better than any bottle out there. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, Ed came over when I got the Old Fitz 19 and we drank a lot of it. I'll just say that. It was a long night. Almost got divorced over that night. This 17 nose, I could smell forever. Yeah, smelling these back to back. The 10-year, I didn't quite pick up the grain on the 10 when I first smelled it, but smelling it back to back with the 17, it definitely the grain pops through a little bit. It's more honey on this one on the 10. The 17 just has everything masked with those beautiful barrel sugar char notes. But it is coming off as vanilla frosting. Man, it is. I really, really love the nose on the 17. All right, going to smell 19. And 19 smells really good too. Definitely better than 10. Excuse me. And where 17 has those vanilla frosting notes, um, the 19, those notes start to turn into more oak dominant notes like you would expect on a 19-year-old bourbon. Um, it doesn't go too far though. I've definitely smelled things way oakier than 19. Like on the nose, I know how this tastes. I remember how this tastes, but on the nose, I wouldn't guess that it's gonna taste over oaked. The nose is really nice, but 17, man. 17 is just something special about that nose that I mean, that's a fat kid's dream right there. Just so balanced. 17 definitely is my favorite on the nose. All right, let's see what else we got going on in the chat. All right, you guys are chatting it up tonight. Thank you guys. Um Oh, nice. Headed to Heaven Hill Tuesday with Narav. Hopefully we can pull some strings. Yeah, dude. Work your magic, man. Nothing like the A1 pick team. So trust you guys to do amazing stuff. Jason said, love to get an Old Fitz. Yeah, I know, man. They're so hard to get. Benzie. It wasn't by choice. All right. All right. I expect big things, buddy. All right, guys. Cheers. Let me know. What are you guys drinking tonight? Here we go on the Old Fitz 10. It's so good. Man, that bottle's dangerous. It's super concentrated. Lots of honey, sweet oak. But what I love about this particular release is the cherry notes with it that I was getting on the nose are definitely there on the palate. It's really nice. But for 100 proof 10-year bourbon, it's everything you want Heaven Hill to be. It's got some of that really nice honey, just like a whisper of nuttiness to it, not much. Let me take another sip. Man, I don't know if you guys can see. It is that's an oily gal. Really oily and viscous. Mm, that 10's beautiful. So the retail on that is 140. I have no idea what secondary is. Obviously, if you see that bottle at retail, buy it. It looks good on the shelf. It's great bourbon. You know, I think in some of the years past, on some of the old fits of past, I've thought, I don't know that they're worth it. I think these are worth it. Looks good on the bar. It's a great conversational piece. It's great to have when people come over that have never had them. Um, I would not pay secondary prices for that, but it's really good. Let's see. Ed Sturger said, the thing I love about those old fits being 100 proof, you can really, really get a great nose. Yeah, absolutely, man. Then the noses are so good, especially the 17. But I'm impressed with this tenure. It is really nice. Super dark, really dark. Um, incredibly dark bourbon. I don't have enough of the other bottles to compare how dark those are, but it looks older. I mean, I think you guys can see that, but man, that's a dark, dark bourbon. All right. So on the 10, I got honey, cherry, sweet oak, really oily and really concentrated for that 100 proof. I mean, so to warm up tonight, we had our Barrels for Hope live stream before this, and I had I had a Rebel 10-year that's also 100 proof. And obviously, this is more concentrated, more complex. I like the Old Fitz better, but it's not to say the Rebel is fantastic. Those bottles are great. Let's see. Ben said, I agree. Ed, I've been really loving stuff that has a 100 proof range lately. Yeah, Ben, that's me 100%. I just don't reach for the Stag Juniors, the Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs. Although the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Founders pick that we did for Barrels for Hope, I reach for that a lot. It's a great bottle. But it came in at like 118 proof. But 100 proof stuff I'm absolutely loving right now. And the more I love it, the more I realize I don't have enough of it on my shelf. Um, so I've been reaching for Kentucky Spirit a lot lately because it's at that 100 proof. Um, I've been reaching for a lot of my Four Roses that are around that 110, 105 proof. Um, Knob Creek 12. I've got too much high proof stuff that I'm not enjoying as much as that 100 to 110 that I'm really loving. Russell's Reserve picks. I mean, I'm going to buy every one I see. They're just all fantastic. So, all right, here we go on the 17. Mm, man, is it so good. Mm-mm-mm. That 17 is so good. It's so balanced. It's caramel, it's vanilla frosting, it's sweet oak, but it's like it's not too much of it. For 17 years, you think you're getting into that range where things are gonna be overly oaked, and man, it is not. That is one of the most dangerous bottles of whiskey there is. I'm gonna take another sip. Gives you chills, man. It's for me, that's almost as perfect as a whiskey could be. It's so balanced. There's just the right amount of spice, just like a little bit of spice, lots of sweetness, lots of great oak, not drying oak, not overly oaked. It's just so well balanced between sweet and spicy. Um, man, that is that is a bottle where if people are, I mean, you're not gonna do this, but if people are getting into bourbon, that is a fun one to give them because that's gonna be one where they go, the dreaded "it's smooth," and that thing goes down like butter. It is like butter. Really good. Ed Sturger said 19 was freaking heaven. Yeah, I'm interested because I haven't had this in a while. I've had it since that crazy night that we had, but I haven't had 19 in a while. And I remember when we tasted 19, I thought it was one of the best things I'd ever had. And then I remember going back to it and thinking it was overly oaked a little bit. But I don't know if that's because we got so intoxicated we threw up that night. Let's see. Oh, Ben's drinking Remus Repeal 5. A lot of similar characteristics with that sweet oak that you get on Remus. Edge drinking Yellowstone barrel proof store pick. Nice. Some of those are really, really good. Oh, Mark said so on Old Fitz 10 for $3.99 in Savoy. I mean, I guess it depends on how much extra cash you have. To me, I would not pay that. 140 I'd pay. I'm gonna go back through in the opposite direction here in a minute. Um, I'm just letting that 17 sit in because it's so good. It's so good. All right, here we go, guys. Let's taste 19. Now 17, I don't know what secondary for 17 is, but I would love to have a second bottle of 17. All right, 19. Bitch, that's good. Oh, mm. The finish on the 19, much longer than 17. So, the 19, those oak characteristics are definitely more predominant there. If you don't like oak, I think that you probably borderline whether you would like 19 or not. I personally don't think the oak goes too far. I think it's really nice, and you get some of those, like, really dark Luxardo cherry notes, on the 19, but also with a lot of sweet oak. Like, sweet oak is the predominant note. Obviously, it's been in the barrel for 19 years, but the finish goes so long. Let me take another sip here, see what I got on the second sip. Mm. You get that beautiful dark cherry note that is not present on the 17. The 17 is just so balanced. The 19 has a little bit more oak and kinda gives you that, it's kinda like I think 19 is if you were able to blend 100 proof, like, Elijah Craig 18 and Knob Creek, 18, I think if you could blend those, um, it would be a close profile. It's not overly oaked, I don't not for me anyway, I don't think. I love the dark cherry notes, it reminds me a lot of the dark cherry notes I get in a good Knob Creek, like those old Knob Creek, like 15, 16-year store picks you used to be able to find, which that I wish I woulda bought cases of, it reminds me a lot of that. It goes in that direction. It's really nice. Well, the finish wins on that. So So first pass, I would give the nose and the palate. Mm, I don't know. So on the first pass, 10 is not as good as the other two, but it's still very, very good. 17 wins on the nose for me by far. Not even close. On the nose, 17 is it. On the finish, 19 wins. 19 just longer. It sticks around more, and it's definitely not the proof that's hanging around. It's the flavor of it. The super concentrated, those burnt sugar notes from the barrel. Those stick around a long time, especially for 100 proof. Um, the palate, I'm torn. I'm torn between 17 and 19 on the palate as far as which one I like. I'm gonna try to figure that out though. See what else we got in the comments here. So Ben, when you come, I do have a Remus 3 that I haven't opened. That I've still got one in the bunker. Um, and I haven't had 7. I haven't had Remus 7. Have any of you guys had Remus 7? If so, what do you guys think? Yeah, Ben says hasn't had the newest one, but 3 and 5 are both my favorite. Yeah, 3 and 5 were so good. 3 was my favorite. Um, I traded what did I trade for that? I think I traded a Weller 12 for a Remus 3 a couple months ago. Um, just because I'm not gonna drink Weller 12 as much. I don't even care. But Remus 3 is so good. I'll drink that one. Oh, Paul is having a pour of Jefferson's Tropics. How is that, man? I have not heard any. I've heard about it. I just haven't seen anyone review it or talk about it. So, all right, we're gonna start back here at 19. Go in the reverse order. See what I like. Mm. That dark cherry note on the 19 year and that sweet oak is so nice. It's really, really good. And the finish is it is 19, it is drying my palate out a little bit. which I don't particularly like as much, and it is that extra time in the barrel, that extra oak. It is drying my palate out. So that taking that into consideration, I would probably give the nod to 17, but we're gonna taste 17 here back to back with it. See what I think. Man, that bottle is just what do they say on Meat Church? I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. That thing is pretty perfect. Just really balanced. I wish the finish were just a tad longer on 17, but I mean, if I'm really nitpicking, like I really don't care. That is a fantastic bottle. Um, Ben says he thinks three's probably his favorite, but five's close behind. I wish I would have picked up more of threes. Yeah, I know, man. They were just sitting on the shelf. We say that about so many bottles. So many. Hey, I just saw someone like this. If you guys are on YouTube, like, man, like it helps the algorithms. I've been slacking on the channel lately, so I'm trying to pick it back up and all right. Let's see. We're gonna go to 10 just to give it a fair shake. Yeah, 10 is really good. It's just not as special when you have it back to back. Now I had 10 on its own last night and was sitting there during the Barrels for Hope board meeting, just loving it, really in love with it. So I think most people, if you find this bottle or if you buy a pour of it at a bar, I think you're really gonna love it. You're gonna be happy with it. Just don't pay secondary prices for it. It's not worth that. You know what I do want to do is I want to taste I want to taste a bottle that you can get that's a little bit closer to it and you can find it a little bit easier. And that's Rebel 10. It's also weeded 10-year. So we'll taste those back to back after I finish analyzing this flight and then let you know. That'll give me a better idea on the value of Old Fitz 10-year bottled and bond. Um, let's see. Oh, Daniel said 17's better than 19 all day. So I personally agree with you. But I could see why if you really like oaky profiles, then you would pick the 19. There is nothing wrong with 19. Um, I don't think it's quite as you by you saying all day. I don't think it's quite all day. It's just your profile preference. I think they're both phenomenal. Excuse me, phenomenal whiskeys. Um, like, you know, if the 10 is here, 17 is here, and 19 is here. It's just that 17 is really special, man. And when you take in to consideration the nose on it, the nose, man, instantly gets you excited about what you're about to drink. It is good stuff. Ben said vanilla frosting is my favorite note to get. Yeah, man, I love vanilla frosting notes. Ben, have you had the 17? Did you have the 17 when you were here? Um, this is this is all I've got left of it. I'm guessing that when my uncle comes tomorrow, we're gonna polish that. We're gonna polish that bad boy off. But yeah, there's only about I don't know an ounce and a half left in it. Ed said no. It's just mean you can't give newbies Old Fits out of the gate. Yeah, that's fair. Man, 17's good. Let's see. Daniel said 17 goes for 750-ish. Nope, can't do that. 19 goes for 850-ish. Yeah, 17's better than 19, but I'm not buying either of those bottles for that. That's silly. Man, just as I start to say 17 is my preference, I have 19. I honestly don't know, man. That's a push for me. That is a push. 17, 19, either one are fantastic. What's really cool, if you guys ever had a chance to do a flight of this, is to do a flight because um, you get to see the art of bourbon. You get to see what the difference between 10 years and 7 years and another, another 2 years after that does to the whiskey. Um, really shows you how those oak notes get imparted and what it does. It's really beautiful, really beautiful. It's a beautiful flight. Um, and I don't know. I'm really torn between 17 and 19. Both are fantastic. Let me pour a little bit of this Rebel 10 and then taste it against the Old Fitz 10 and see what we got. Both of those are gorgeous. The Rebel 10, little more Heaven Hill profile than the Old Fitz 10 on the nose. Old Fitz 10 is more honey forward. Smelling these back to back. I might like the Rebel 10 nose better than the Old Fitz 10. Wow. Ed said that's why I love 19, those deep Luxardo cherry notes. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some reviews since I did mine where people were saying they thought 19 was over oaked. So it really comes down to your profile. If you don't like those heavy oak notes, go for 17 all day long if you see it in a bar. You're not gonna like 19. But to me, it's not over oaked, it's beautifully oaked. Those oak notes turn into those dark Luxardo cherry notes, and and the finish just hangs around forever. It's, it's really awesome. David Bass says, "Cheers, Lance. How close is newer Rebel 10 year to Old Fitz in your opinion?" Cheers, everyone. Well, I'm about to find out. This let's see. This one I got, I think is actually I think it was actually a 12 year. It says it was barreled March of 2010. The Old Fitz was what, spring of 2013. So this is a little bit, this Rebel 10 I have is a little bit older. I assume they still call it Rebel 10. They didn't want to pay to have the labels changed, but I do know this was older than an actual 10 year. So we're gonna taste them side by side right now, David. So here we go. Rebel 10. Cheers, everybody. So first impressions, that came off thinner than I thought it would. Again, both of these are 100 proof. It was nice. It was very soft. Had a little bit of caramel, a little bit of sweet oak, and then a little bit of cherry notes on there. But it did not have the roundness of Old Fitz 10 on that first sip. I'm gonna take another sip. The finish is really nice though. It's got a nice long finish on it. It's just not a lot of complexity. Now it's a great sipper. I think these cost about $100 now. Um, and it's a fantastic bottle. Actually, the finish is still going on that. It's pretty good. Let me scroll down here. Brad Key said that's out of my price range. I assume you're talking about the Old Fitz, and yeah, it is. Yeah, that's just craziness, man. I just can't do it. That's a good question. What's the most you guys would spend on a bottle? It'd have to be if I'm spending over, I don't know. If I'm spending over $300-400 anymore, it's gotta be a BTAC. It's gotta be like I'm talking like the you know, George T. Stagg is one of those bottles to me that is just knocks my socks off. Or it's gotta be like a '80s old granddad or something like that. But even then, I'm probably not doing it. Okay, let's go to this. Old Fitz 10. Oh yeah. I wish the Rebel stood up to it, but it doesn't. That Old Fitz 10, uh what really stands out is the texture. Even though I think this Old Fitz 10 is younger than my Rebel 10, it's just creamier, it's more buttery, it's more well-rounded, more complex. It doesn't beat the Rebel on the finish, but the flavors are just better. So, yeah. I mean, if you can't find an Old Fitz and you can find a Rebel 10, you're probably 70% there. But but yeah, it's good, but it's not as good as Old Fitz 10. Let's see. What else we got going on, guys? Okay. Eric wants to test the 10 versus a good larceny batch. All right, I can do that. Let's see. I can do that. The proof's going to be like out of bounds though, Eric. Like we're talking 20 proof points or so. Let me see what I got back here. All right. I got let's see, B522, which I think I ranked pretty high. Oh, sorry. But the proof is way higher than the Rebel 10. I got to work at 5 in the morning, so you guys have more taste suggestions. I can't do too many of these. All right, here we go. Larceny barrel proof versus Rebel 10. Larceny smells good. Ed said, "I'm curious, like David, Rebel 10 or Old Fitz 10." Yeah, Ed, I just did that. Unless I'm just way behind on chat, but Old Fitz 10, in my opinion, destroys Rebel 10. So, all right. Larceny. This batch B522 is a little more musty. Cocoa and definitely more nutty. The cocoa note on that's really nice. So, all right, try this. Man, that's like a honey roasted peanuts with chocolate. Now, to me, I like the Old Fitz, all the Old Fitz better than that, but that's still really good. All right, Rebel 10. This particular barrel of Rebel 10 holds up to that really well. Really, really well. even at 23.8 proof points less. I assumed when I had that the Rebel was just gonna taste like water, but it doesn't. It holds its own against that. That is not the result I thought it was gonna be. Let me taste the Rebel 10 first, and then we'll go to the Larceny. Mm, it's good stuff. Oh, I think I might man, you guys are chatting it up tonight. Thank you guys so much. I was just behind on chat. Ed said Rebel 10's underrated. Oh, Brad's sipping Obtanium 15-year light whiskey. What's the proof on that, Brad? Ed's drinking Wyoming 10. Ed sent me a sample of Wyoming 10. People sleep on that brand, man. It is really good. I really like it. All right. Go back to this Larceny. I mean, if I'm sitting down just to sip whiskey, I might like this Rebel 10 better. Again, I'm kind of I'm really my bourbon journey is really transitioning me from higher proof stuff to lower proof stuff now. Um, which you guys know, I used to be all about the the Stag Juniors, Elijah Craig barrel proofs. I'm just for whatever reason, um, I don't want. I used to love being kicked in the nuts and tossed around the room. Now I don't want that so much anymore. I just want to sit down and really be able to explore flavors and the transitions in bourbon and the texture of bourbon. And when it just just burns my mouth out and squeezes the shit out of my chest, I'm just not into it at this current moment as much as I used to be. Let's see. Chris Michael said, bottle kill on my Larceny A122. Nice. David Bay said, hit the like button. Thanks, man. Yeah, I always forget to tell you guys. I'm not good with that stuff, but yeah, if you could hit the like button, that does really help the channel. Um, so Paul said it's an awesome pour, deep nose, complex on the palate. Sorry, Paul, I'm behind on the chat, so I'm not sure which bottle you were referring to there. Um, Peter White said, "What are you doing with all the empty Old Fitz?" So that's a good question. Because these to me, these are the most beautiful bottles. My wife doesn't get it, but I freaking love these things. So I'm probably going to do some infinity bottles and do like a Heaven Hill infinity bottle or a Buffalo Trace infinity bottle or a Jim Beam infinity bottle, something like that. When I empty these, instead of just doing one with a mixture of stuff, I think that would be kind of cool. That's probably what I'll do. Because right now my infinity bottle is really good. Um, David Bass asks, have you had the B523? Are you talking about Elijah Craig Barrel Proof or Larceny? Um, I haven't had either though. Wait, do I have B523? I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, the proof on the Obtanium is 137. Jesus. Uh, Brad said 500 would be my limit. Very few that I would pay that for. Yeah, what's going to be crazy is in the next couple years, having these conversations now. I remember we were in Destin, Florida a couple years ago. We had a George T. Stagg in the cabinet for 500, and I thought, you assholes, there's no way I'm paying that. I'd pay it every time I saw it today. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. Mm. At 17, man, makes you do a happy dance. Oh, it's good. Oh, Eric said, "Yeah, Rebel's a better comparison." Hadn't thought of that. Yeah, because of the proof, but it was an interesting call out, man. It held up. It held up with the extra proof. Brad said, "What is the most you would pay for Parker's double char?" Man, that bottle's so good. Probably 250. That would probably be my limit. It's a really good bottle. I have about a quarter of a bottle left. Yeah, I know, man. Sorry. Sorry. Shit. You guys are so active tonight. I appreciate it. Oh, well, hey Ed, when you come next week, man, bring the Wyoming 10 and we'll mix them up and blind them for you. Yep, Nancy the Nose is making things happen at Wyoming. Yeah, their stuff's good. Everything Ed sent me, I've never bought anything Wyoming, but Ed sent me a lot of samples and they are really good. Really good. Eric says lots of age helps the lower proofers. Yep, for sure. Yep. Oh, I'm gonna this is probably the last Old Fitz 17 I'll ever drink. God dang, that's a good whiskey, man. That is a good whiskey. Mm. Eric says wants an Old Fitz decanter just for infinity. Yeah. Eric, where are you at? I'll give you one of these Old Fitz decanters if you want one. Um, actually, Eric, I think I have my 8 still in my bunker. If you want that, let me know. Somehow I'll get it to you. You can have it. And Sturgar says he has a Stag Junior bottle that he's using as a Buffalo Trace Infinity. Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, Eric left. Hope he got my message about about the Infinity bottle. Uh, Jason said GTS, King of Kentucky, William Lee Weller. Yeah, all those. Man, I really want a bottle, another bottle of George T. Stagg. I haven't had one since 2020, and that's still one of my favorite bottles ever. Just loved it so good. Oh, Rob's in the house. What's up, dude? Brad says, Lance, studio looks great. Thanks, dude. Yeah, man. It turned out really, really nice. Everything's working out good. It's beautiful, man. We've had some lots of guests over actually, and it's so funny, man. They are drawn, especially the men are drawn to this room. Um, can't get people out of here. Even people that don't drink bourbon, they just walk in here and it's an instant conversational piece. It's awesome. It's so much fun to have people over and talk whiskey. And next week is like the epitome of that because all my some of my patrons are coming over to stay and we're gonna have a great time. It's when I started this channel 3-4 years ago, I didn't expect to make such great friends and like Ed and Ben and Brad and Mike Booth, all those guys they've been such a blessing in my life just to get to know those guys. And I cannot wait to hang out with them next week. It's going to be so much fun. Um, oh yeah. Yeah. Fitz 17 at Whiskey Mash. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I went, I don't know if you were in the first part of the stream tonight. I went through everything that we're having at Whiskey Mash. So, Lance, do you still have the Willet Wolves bottle top for me? I do. I sure do, buddy. Yep. I got one for you. Brad, I was in Frankfort, Kentucky the day B-Tech dropped in 2021. Got George T. Stagg for $199. That's incredible. The George T. Stagg from last year, the 2023, Ed and I had it at a restaurant, and then Chuck with Power of Bourbon brought another bottle over to the house, and we had Old Fitz 19 the same night. That's why we ended up, a little intoxicated. But that George T. Stagg 2023, that to me is a perfect whiskey. That bottle is phenomenal. So good, so good. Ed, yeah, there's VIP tickets left, dude. If you scroll all the way up to the chat, I posted the link to get tickets at the very, very top. Hey, Bourbon Basement's in the house. Dude, you are welcome anytime, man. You just let me know when you want to come drink bourbon, and you are welcome anytime. Yeah, GTS 2023 was so incredible. Really, really good stuff. All right, guys, just to recap, man. So the Old Fitz 10, great. If you see it at a bar, definitely get a pour. You will not be disappointed. Would I pay retail? Yes. Would I pay secondary? No way. The 10 I did not like as much as the 17 and 19, but that's not to say that it's bad. It's really good. The 17 for me wins. I think it's just a really perfect whiskey. It's really well balanced. It's got that vanilla frosting note on top of everything the 10 provides, but just sweeter oak, deeper, richer caramel. Better nose than all three. The Old Fitz 19, fantastic. The finish wins on the Old Fitz 19 for me. And I love the fact that those barrel char notes started to turn into dark Luxardo cherries. Just really gorgeous whiskey. But I think it would be too much oak for some people, and the palate, it dries your palate out a little bit on the tail end. So I got to give the nod for 17 being the best Old Fitz I've had. It's really phenomenal. If I were going to pick anyone and they had all three at a bar, I would pick the 17. The 17 is what I would be hunting. Um, secondary prices being at 750, I wouldn't pay that. There's just nothing I would pay 750 for unless you're talking about, you know, old granddad 1980s bottle or something, something dusty. But I just can't justify paying that. That's for me in my current financial situation with a kid going to the University of Illinois. So, ask me in 10 years, I might have a different answer for you guys. Brad says, can't wait for Whiskey Mash. Yeah, dude, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see you and hang out with you. It's going to be awesome. All right, guys. So next week we got a live stream. I don't know if we'll do a live stream Thursday night. I got to see when the guys get in. I know Mike Booth will be here, so we might sit down and do a tasting with him. Probably be impromptu if we do a tasting. Ed's gonna be here. Ben won't be getting until late. Brad will be here. So just watch the channel. We might do something fun. If I don't go live Thursday night, I will be going live from Whiskey Mash on Saturday. We'll try to get Hard Truth at the table. We'll try to get Barrel Craft Spirits at the table. Anybody else that wants to, any of the other distilleries that want to come chat, hang out, we'll do that. We may play Guess the Proof, have some people stop by, hop on the channel for a little bit, talk about how much fun they're having at Whiskey Mash, all those kind of things. It's going to be a lot of fun. One more question here I saw. Ed asked, how does the Mellencamp collab with Hard Truth rate? Very, very high. It is ridiculous. All right, I'll have one more pour. Damn it, Ed. We'll do Hard Truth. We'll do the Mellencamp. I'll show you guys. Hang on. All right, what time is it? 9:30. Been going an hour. All right, we'll get these in. So, full disclosure, Hard Truth did send me these. So, you guys can take that with a grain of salt. take it with a grain of salt that I love Hard Truth. It's one of my favorite new distilleries. Them and Middle West out of Columbus, Ohio, absolutely doing those two craft distilleries are doing amazing things. Um, but Brian, Master Distiller Hard Truth, sent me this, which is the High Road Rye. Now, this rye, I'll be doing a review on it, but it comes in at 93 proof. If I gave you the stats on paper, you would probably ignore this bottle, but I'm telling you guys, do not ignore this bottle. 93 proof, couple years old. You will be blown away at the flavor packed into this. It is so fantastic. I honestly don't know of a rye in this price range that I would pick over it. So it is really, really fantastic. But it's a great price point. Hard Truth, a lot of their stuff, their sweet mash ryes are up in that, 80, 90, but this is a 40, I think a $40 bottle. Um, and their stuff is just their marketing, their bottle, their corks made out of real cork. I mean, everything is just so fantastic on these. All right, but enough of that. So this is going to be in their core lineup. And now we went there for a barrel pick for Barrels for Hope, and Brian poured those for us. So I'd had it, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I was amazed with the flavor. But I thought this was so it says Mellencamp right here. It says Mellencamp Whiskey Company on it. So I thought this was like a new celebrity whiskey that, I thought they kind of teamed up with Hard Truth, but that's not the case. I guess John Cougar Mellencamp doesn't drink, but he's really into local farmers and using local grain and all that kind of stuff. So his company, they did a collab, and John Cougar Mellencamp does this artwork. So this is a painting, and there's going to be 4 releases of this. Let me get my phone because Brian sent me the mash bill on this. So I'll just read you what Brian sent me because let's see. Okay. So he told me, he said, it's not a celebrity whiskey. Just to be clear, John's only connection is with the artwork and his legacy with Farm Aid and our donation. So there's a donation every bottle. Some goes back to that. The High Road, I'm sorry, the Harvest Rye. This one is 72% rye, 28%. I think that's caramel malted rye, which if you guys have watched my previous reviews, the caramel malted rye was my favorite. It's so, so good. But the chocolate malted rye is really turning me now. That's my like end of the night sipper for a long time. So they're going to do 4 Mellencamp project releases, one fall 23, one spring of 24, fall of 24, and spring of 25. Each one a unique whiskey, each with a new painting, and each is a one-time release. So once these are gone, they're gone. So let me pour a little bit, and we'll do some tasting notes here on this. I got to do a review on it anyway. Now this, I will tell you guys, the nose on this, holy crap. Holy crap. And we did a barrel pick for Barrels for Hope. It's one of my favorite barrel picks ever. I cannot wait to get it. Jesus Christ. This nose, I don't know how Hard Truth does it. Because you're talking, I will say this, 1000%, no bias. The nose on this Hard Truth beats any of the Old Fitz noses for this fat kid. It is an absolute butterscotch bomb. If you love butterscotch, you've got to find this. It's a butterscotch bomb. So, so good. It's jammy. It's sticky. It's butterscotch. Caramel, of course. It's like a slight bready note. No craft notes for I don't know how old the whiskey is in here. Let's see if it says. Distilled and aged in charred American oak barrels in Brown County, Indiana. Fall of 2023. It says dumped. So it's a 30 barrel blend dumped on 7/20 of 23. Aged over 3 years. So the blend, the whiskey, the youngest whiskey in here is 3 years old. It's so absurd what Hard Truth's doing. I can't even tell you. Ed, when you get here, man, and you have a pour of this, just smelling it, this is the best nose ever. It's so good. All right, let's drink. Cheers, everybody. I love Hard Truth so much. It's my shit, man. Hard Truth is my shit. So let's see. Going through chat. Seriously, $40. Yeah, that's their new core sweet mash rye is I think it's around $40, which is, way to make a statement on the market, man. Really good stuff. Hard Truth gets more flavor out of young whiskey than any other distillery. Yeah, 1000%. And the thing I love about Hard Truth, I said this on the Barrels for Hope live stream tonight. There's nothing like Hard Truth on the market. Number one, there's no craft notes. You guys know how I'm so turned off by craft notes. And for such young whiskey, there's none of that. And there's just nothing. I couldn't point you to anything that tastes like Hard Truth. It's just so unique. The butterscotch notes. I mean, my favorite cookie in the world is a scotchy. So like the butterscotch oatmeal cookie. My wife makes them for me every September because it's my birthday month. She makes those for me. And man, this is reminding me of that. That I wish you guys could taste that. There's no better 3-year whiskey on the planet. It's so good. Paul Smith says Hard Truth and Middle West are hard to beat. Yeah, and so thanks to A1 as always and Narav for helping us get 2 of those picks for Barrels for Hope, because those are newer distilleries that people haven't necessarily heard of. Hard Truth, I mean, on my channel, we've been talking about Hard Truth for 3 years. We've been singing their praises since the beginning. But Middle West is one I just learned of in the last 6 months. And we went there last week and did a barrel pick of their dark pumpernickel rye at 124 proof. Blew my socks off. We had 3 barrels. Kyle with Middle West Spirits curated 3 different barrels for us, all vastly different. It was the first time I've been on a pick where it was so divisive, where there was not a bad barrel and we just could not decide which one we wanted. It went to it was a 4-4 vote. I was the swing vote, and I couldn't decide. I had to blind them. And the pick we got so good at Middle West Spirits, but if I had to choose between Hard Truth and Middle West Spirits, I'm picking Hard Truth. Both are great, but man, Hard Truth is just they're doing special stuff. If you guys haven't checked them out yet, you need to. And I've been telling you that for 3 years. Hey, Terry's in the house. What's up, dude? Doing great, man. Life's good. Yeah, Ed Sturgar, lives 30, 40 minutes from Hard Truth. He's all in. Yep. Ed said, "You're all killing me. I'm dying." Brad said, "Hard Truth is my shit." New slogan for the company. Yeah, dude. I would totally. I'll tell Brian that. I said, I'll tell Brian we need shirts that say "Hard Truth is my shit." They need to. And Hard Truth is such a cool company that they would do that. I don't know if you guys saw the vlog we did on Barrels for Hope channel of our pick at Hard Truth. But we were there the day they won double gold on their sweet mash rye, and we met with the owners and the CEO of Hard Truth, and just I mean had a blast, had a blast. That place just knows how to party and knows how to have a good time. They bought shots for the entire place, and we toasted Brian when they won double gold. It's just that place just holds a special place in my heart. So but all that being said, like I'm telling you guys, I'm not all biases out of the equation. This stuff is fantastic. Um, you know, Brian's gonna want to sell more of the this $40 bottle because that's their new core lineup, and it's fantastic. But this is that's some special stuff, man. It's so good. It's so good. And I'll tell you guys, on our barrel pick, he brought out finished stuff that they're doing and Pedro Jimenez casks and all kinds of stuff that I may not be able to talk about. And man, get ready. Get ready. Hard Truth is coming. They're doing some amazing stuff. Oh, Brian asked, what time's dinner on Friday? I still have to make reservations. I don't know. I need to figure that out. I need to talk to Narav. I need to figure out. I'm gonna go help him set up for Whiskey Mash, get everything set up for the live stream we're gonna do from there. So maybe, and we want to do a bottle share before we go to Firefly. So I don't know, probably do dinner around 6 or 7, maybe 7ish. We'll do it a little late. That way we have plenty of time for the bottle share. So bottle share at the hotel for those of you guys going. And then we'll go after dinner. We'll probably go back to the hotel and then take a shuttle to A1 since we're gonna have a shuttle service. So yeah. Ed said it's a destination distillery, blows any of the Kentucky distilleries tours away. 1000% it does. Yeah. If Hard Truth were in Kentucky, it would be my first stop. It would be my first stop. Any distillery I can think of, if I was getting someone into bourbon, I would take them to Hard Truth Distillery because you've got moonshining tours, they've got great cocktails, they've got a great restaurant, they've got a cabin on location that you can stay in. They have an amphitheater with concerts. I mean, there's just no better place. It's such a cool place, and amazing people are running it. And Brian is the coolest dude. Brad Key. Oh yeah, Brad was on the Hard Truth pick. Some genuinely good guys in the industry. Yeah, for sure. And Jason said last year's bottle share was great. Yeah, last year's bottle share was epic, largely because of you, Jason. I mean, you brought King of Kentucky and all kinds of stuff, but yeah, it was fun, man. It was fun. All right, guys. I went longer than I thought. I was going to try to go about an hour tonight. So I'm going to get off of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the chats. Makes this a lot more fun and makes me more likely to keep doing these when you guys interact every week. You know, if we didn't get much interaction, I'd probably stop doing these, but these are fun, man. I love doing these. I love having the time to do it now that the kids are out of the house and one's in college and one's out on her own. We can start doing these every week. So love you guys very much. Cheers. Can't wait to see you guys next week at Whiskey Mash, and can't wait to see all the patrons coming into town. Love you guys very much. We will talk to you next week. Later.